Hey guys, Professor Freak here again with lesson number 2. This is continuing on sort of our foundation of C major because there's no sharps or flats. We're going to look at the chords today in the key of C major, and most of all we're going to look at chords down here by the nut because these are probably the easiest. You generally use the most strings as opposed to like bar chords that you would play elsewhere. These are probably the easiest to learn elsewhere or learn first. And so, starting out, since it's C major, we're going to play a C major chord. Now, this C major, there are 3 notes to a basic major or minor chord. You have a C where you're going to be playing with your middle finger on the 3rd fret of the A string. Then you have this E. You're going to be playing with your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. And then you have the open G, or the open 3rd string. Then you're going to play the C with your index finger on the 1st fret of the 2nd string, and then an open E. So that's what it should sound like. And I do encourage you guys, when you're starting out, when you're first putting the chords together, first off, take your thumb and put it right on the back of the neck, because that's going to force you to get on the tips of your fingers, which is really the hardest part to do. I mean, if I play a right chord, I can play like that with my thumb sort of lazily peeking around, but I have enough muscle memory to do that. If you're just starting out, the chord's going to sound better if you use the thumb on the back, because you really got to get on the tips of your fingers to do these chords and have them sound clean. And also, play each string individually, because you want to listen if any of them are muffled or you're not playing the right note, because if you're just immediately strumming, you're not going to hear that. So play each one, and if you hear like then you might think, oh no, like that E's not coming out, and so you got to really get on the tips of your fingers. So that's C major. The next key, or the next chord in the key of C major, would be a D minor. And you're going to play that by playing the 4th string open, which is a D. You're going to use your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, which is an A. Then you're going to play the D on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string with your ring finger. And then you're going to play that F with your index finger on the 1st fret of the 1st string. So, and again, make sure everything sounds good before you start strumming. So, D minor. Next one's E minor, which is a pretty easy one to play. You only need 2 fingers. Open E string, since it's E minor. Then you're going to put your middle finger on the B, 2nd fret of the 5th string, and your ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string. You're going to be playing that E. And then you're going to play the rest of the strings open. So all 6 strings for this one. Pretty easy one. The next one is probably the trickiest one for a beginner, because you have to bar, and that's an F. That's probably the way to start out, is learning just the top 4 strings as opposed to doing it like that. So to start off with, take your index finger and almost like this whole first segment of your index finger, just flatten that across both the 1st and 2nd string of the 1st fret. And again, you're really going to have your thumb on the back of the neck for this one. And make sure you can get that to sound clean first before you move on to anything else. because that's going to be the real tripping point for this chord. Then you add your middle finger to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, so you got. Then if that all sounds good, then you add your ring finger to the 3rd fret of the 4th string. And it should sound nice and clean like that. And you know, that one may make your hand cramp too, because you gotta squeeze to get that bar down. You know, that's the tricky one. And then you're going from that C, you're gonna go to a G. And you know, there's a couple different ways you can use a couple different fingerings you can use on this one. You can finger like that or that. I generally prefer to use my ring finger on the G on the 3rd fret of the 6th string, excuse me, and my middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string. Then you're going to play the next 3 strings open, so the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd string open, and then your pinky is going to be playing the 3rd fret of the 1st string. Now the reason I like this is because you can go back and forth between a G and a G7 really easily. I'll talk about what a G7 is later, but that's why I prefer to play it that way. Then next we have A minor. Pretty easy shape to make, playing the open A string. And then sort of just like E minor, we've got the middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 4th string, and the ring finger on the 2nd fret of the 3rd string. And then you got your index finger playing that C on the 1st fret of the 2nd string. And then the open E string. So you're not playing the low C string, just playing the top 5 strings. And then last you have kind of a funky chord. It's actually it's a diminished chord, which you probably aren't going to use very often. It's a B diminished. But I'll still teach it to you anyways. Diminished actually is a kind of differentiating from the other ones we learned. Actually has 4 notes in it. There's a lot of funny things about diminished chords, but you're going to play it by, putting your middle finger on the 2nd fret of the 5th string, your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 4th string, your index finger on the 1st fret of the 3rd string, and then your pinky on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string. So there it is, the sort of dark, ugly sounding chord. But then you can resolve it with a C and make it sound nice and pretty. So those are the chords in the key of C major. You can probably, again, look it up on Google Images. If you guys have any questions, let me know, and we'll sort of decide where to go from here. So thanks for watching.